What's good, y'all? It's your boy. It's me. It's Bobby D, Big Irish Radio Show. And welcome to the very first episode of Big Irish TV. Let's talk wrestling. That's right. We're going to be talking about all the things that have been happening in the wonderful world of wrestling over the last over the last few weeks, actually. For those of you that are catching the replay on the podcast, kick back, relax, enjoy yourselves. We're just going to have a grand old time. Now, keep in mind, we do have people all over the place that are going to be able to come in and say hi, like Mr. Donnie Collins. Mr. Donnie Collins jumping in here today and saying, hey, Uncle Bobby, what's going on? How are you, Mr. Donnie? Keeping things moving and grooving today. Let's actually talk about wrestling. Let's talk about all the things that are happening and all the things that you guys are going to be able to experience with AEW, WWE, AEW, and of course, who would have ever imagined that Impact Wrestling would be considered one of the biggest wrestling shows out there? Christine Ortiz coming in saying, boo! What's going on, Miss Christine? How are you, love? We're just going to have a grand old time today, and we hope that you guys enjoy the live stream. Of course, those of you that are in the live can also come in, and you can chat with me, and we can actually talk about everything that's been going on. So let's actually get started, and let's take our focus to AEW for a few minutes. Let's talk about the return of Jon Moxley. Yes, that's right. The Blue-Eyed Battler is back, and we are just having... with him coming back into the scene, on Wednesday night, he popped in and he just did his awesome little spiel. One of the great things about it, though, was he was talking about all the things that were going on and how he had this dark cloud that was appearing above him and yada, yada, yada. But it was really an analogy for life. And, when you get to that point of just having agreement of him coming back, battling this little bit of an addiction that he had. He did take time off, and he is back in AEW now. Just to let you guys know, Queen Hunter is in the house. Of course, we love it when our TikTok people come in to support the show. Now, with that being said, Bully Ray from the Open... I think it's Busted Open podcast, actually made the comment that he thought that Jon Moxley should have actually apologized. I'm going to differ with that because I think the way he handled it, I think the way that he did things was perfect, because when you look back at old school wrestling, when we start talking about old school wrestling, you have these guys who suffered from different things that they were dealing with. And instead of taking care of themselves and doing self-care, they just kept going. And what ended up happening? You had people out there. We lost several wrestlers because of the addictions that they had and things like that. And that's where this all comes in. So I'm going to give praise to Jon Moxley for doing what he did. He actually stepped outside of the box, went out differently than everybody else does, went and got things taken care of, then came back. There is absolutely zero need for Jon Moxley to apologize to AEW at all for any reason. I don't think that he really needed to. Personally, I think Bully Ray was wrong. He didn't need to apologize for letting anybody down. I think it was absolutely awesome the way he did it. And let me tell you something. If you watched Rampage and you watched the match with Jon Moxley in it, that was just crazy. He is back to old form. He is back to being the Blue-Eyed Battler. He is doing everything that I think he needs to do. And that's going to be tip number one. It's just be you. Just do you. Whether it's a character, whether it's something that you've created, or something that you're doing a little bit different, just be you. Just have some fun with it. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, take the example of Jon Moxley. Worry about your own health. Worry about the things that you have going on, and take care of you. Now, moving on with AEW, let's talk about Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. I'm going to be honest about Cody Rhodes. I don't know if this is all nothing but a giant work, And I really do feel that it is. I feel that his comments, I'm never going to turn heel, I'm never going to do this, I'm never going to do that, I think it is the ultimate heel move. And he came back from a small hiatus that he had. And as he came back, he sat down with, or got in the ring and was talking to everybody. And one of the things that he spoke about was the pipe bomb. He was talking about when CM Punk sat down, talked about everything, and who was the one that put it all together? Who's the one that didn't actually leave, go on to greener pastures, so to speak, or take a break? Of course, it was Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes came out of WWE, turned around and went to ROH Wrestling, which is one of the best heel faction turns I think I've ever seen. And I love Cody Rhodes as a heel. I really do. In Ring of Honor, he came up with the Ring of Honor Championship ring, and he flouted that, man. He was great with it. Him being a heel in Ring of Honor was probably one of the coolest things I've seen yet. And keep in mind that when we're talking about all this, we are talking about the fact that these are my opinions. Please keep that in mind. This is in no way, shape, form, or fashion going to go anywhere except for it's just me. It's me talking about it. It's me figuring it out. It's me saying, look, this is what we're doing. So now with that, Cody Rhodes did issue a challenge when it was all said and done and over with. And of course, he's challenging the current TNT or the interim TNT champion, Sammy Guevara, to a ladder match. We're going to unify the titles. I mean, unifying the titles. Where did they decide to do this? I think it was crazy that they created such a thing about unifying titles and putting things together. It just kind of kills me about the way they're setting that up. It is a really with Cody Rhodes. I think he's playing up the biggest heel in the world. I think he knows exactly what he's doing, and honestly, when it's all said and done and over with, I think you're going to find that this is nothing but a big heel job. So, yeah, I think he knows exactly what he's doing, and I think it's the way it's going to end up working. So, so get ready for Cody Rhodes. Let's talk about Malachi Black and Brody King. Now, first of all, for you to come into AEW with the name Brody is a challenge. I mean, that's one of the things that he said on the that Cody Rhodes actually said was coming into AEW with the name Brody is kind of one of those things where it's really, really ballsy, so to speak. So I really don't think Malachi Black needed any help. I think that I think it's really cool seeing a Ring of Honor star actually finally make it over and come over. Seeing Brody King come into AEW, I think, is going to give some size and some speed for those of you that don't know Brody King. I think you're going to see a lot of size and speed out of Brody where you wouldn't expect it. He's going to be someone that's going to almost mirror Miro in what he can do. And in fact, honestly, I think that he can actually move a little bit better than Miro, personally. I think you're going to see a lot of things. I think you're going to see a lot of things out of these two, and I think it's going to be something. I think it's going to be a really good concept. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Brody King coming into AEW? And what do you think of the new little faction that Malachi Black is putting together? For those of you that are WWE fans and you came in to listen, and we're, of course, talking about AEW right now, but for those of you that are not up to speed, Malachi Black is Aleister Black from the old WWE days. And he's just keeping things going. He's keeping that same persona, and it's actually gotten better. I love the House of Black. I am not so much about the lights on, lights off type thing, but give me House of Black any day, because I think it's going to be a really, really cool concept that they're going to come up with. Now, let's talk about the legend, the icon, the man himself, the Stinger. That's right. Let's talk about Sting, and let's talk about the match that him and Darby Allin had the other night. Holy mackerel. You know, at 50-something years old, and I think Sting's 50, isn't he? I think Sting is 50. For those of you that know, tell me. Do you think that he's a different age? Let me know. But I honestly think he's somewhere in his 50s. And the man can still move for what he's done over his life. He has really given himself the ability to look at things and to actually put things together. And then when you team him with a superstar like Darby Allin, holy crap, that boy can go. My God, the man goes 90 to nothing. And you just, these two together are just me personally, I think it's just going to be an incredible ride. I think we're going to see something, we're just going to keep seeing cool things come out of these two. And of course, watching Sting do his thing is absolutely awesome. If you're in the comments, tell me what you think. What do you think about Sting and Darby Allin? And what do you guys think about it all happening? One of the biggest things, now we're going to move on to Adam Cole, Orange Cassidy, Britt Baker, and our resident alien, Chris Statlander. Mixed tag team. I'm loving the fact that they're coming back with the mixed tag team matches. I love these. I have always loved mixed tag team matches. I think we're going to see some really cool things come out of this. The Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole rivalry is getting very, very interesting. I think they're building these storylines, and that's one of the things about AEW that I think they have over everybody else right now, is their ability to build stories. It's not something that, hey, we're going to do this in 60 days and it's going to all be done and over with. You've actually watched things happen over this time period where it's all come back to change up. Donnie Collins, Donnie, thank you for the comment. Sting is 62. Donnie Collins coming in with the age for Sting. I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. But when we start talking about all these things, let's get right back to it, because this mixed tag team match was really, really, really awesome. One of the things I loved about a mixed tag team match like that is the fact that you have different things that can happen. And when we start talking about that, we have to look at little bits and pieces and things that have happened over the course of the matches. And the other day was the perfect example, because they made it into an issue between Orange Cassidy and Adam Cole, and it was really cool the way they actually did it. I'm gonna share this with you for a second. Hang on, because I love the things that they've done here. I do want to go ahead and I want to share this scene with you for a second, just so you guys get to see it. Are you ready for this? Oh, baby, hold on. See if I can get it added right. It may take a second. There it is. The great thing about this was that Adam Cole went to do a move, or Orange Cassidy went to do a move. Adam Cole ducked out of the way. They had already set up a table on the outside of the ring. Britt Baker had climbed up on the outside of the ring, and as Orange Cassidy came across, he bumped Britt Baker, and Britt Baker went off straight into a table. And you don't get to see a lot of those things in professional wrestling, especially with the PG era of WWE. We lost a lot of that and lost a lot of the things that they had going on because of those, and not being able to just not being able to show different things anymore, because they were in this PG era of TV screen time. So yeah, we've been talking about AEW, of course. We'll have to go back and look at some of the moments from WWE this week. Some of them that I actually thought was cool. I'm not going to go over everything that happened, but I will say that we had some really cool moments coming out of WWE also. And one of those moments, of course, being the It Couple versus, when we start talking about this, we're talking about Miz and Maurice. And they are in the process of feuding with Beth Phoenix and the Rated R Superstar. And what you get is you get little scenes like this. They actually set it up in such a way that Maurice hit Beth Phoenix in the back with her purse. And of course, once she came down from that, she was actually talking about it, and she pulls this giant brick out of her purse. It was a moment that was cool. It was a moment that was comical. It was a moment they've actually started building that up, and I will be honest and say that in WWE, I don't think there's another performer that can do it quite the way that Miz does. Miz is just really, really awesome with everything that he's doing, and I think it's a really, really cool setup. I do want to ask your opinion about this, though, and this is the next part that we're going to talk about. And of course, we're still talking about WWE. Bray Wyatt, also known as Wyndham Rotunda, has started putting out some vignettes out there where it looks like, I'm not sure if it's him or if it's fan based, but these vignettes seem to be announcing Wyndham Rotunda coming back to wrestling. Now, with that, does that also mean that we're going to see a return of a Fiend-like character? And if we do, what does that mean for this? I'm going to kind of show this for a second, because what does it mean for this? This is the therapy session for Alexa Bliss. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I actually like what they're doing there with that or not. I'm kind of sad at the fact that they're taking the Bliss character and completely almost destroying it. Little Miss Bliss, the character that she was before, was kind of destroyed. But now you've got this. It was almost as if they had her take over Bray Wyatt's spot with all this, and then you turn around and now you have her going through therapy because she lost Lily and she can't control her temper and she can't do this and she can't do that. And I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I think that we had something good going on with the Fiend. I think when they decided to mix those two, if they had kept to the original strategy, I think, and had given us Mother Abigail with that and built that stream up from that point, I think it would have been much better. I don't think that we were getting what we needed from this, and I think there's a lot of kickback on the fact that we have Alexa Bliss basically taking over Bray Wyatt's spot and being the supernatural entity. So ultimately, my question to this has to be, what do you guys think? First of all, do you think Bray Wyatt's coming back? Do you think Wyndham Rotunda is coming back to wrestling? And if so, where's he going to end up at? What kind of impact is he going to make? Where's it going to come from? Where's he going to be? What do you guys think? And second of all, what do you think of the storyline they have going on with Alexa Bliss? What do you think of the therapy sessions, so to speak, and the way that they're portraying that and playing that up? I'm not so much there with that. It's kind of one of those things that I didn't like the fact that they had them doing this in the first place. It kind of bothered me a little bit with the way that they were portraying it and putting it together. I really have not liked anything that they're doing with Alexa Bliss lately, because it seems like they keep going back to this. Well, if you go back and you look, you had the therapy session between Kane and Daniel Bryan. Those were they were great, but they were horrible at the same time. They were very cringeworthy. And I think we end up with the same thing here, especially in this new environment that we have with everybody. Therapy is more accepted nowadays than not, and now we end up with just the different bits and pieces. I'm going to also keep talking about WWE here, and let's talk about this match. Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. Wow. I think this is going to be a clash of two titans. I really do. I think this is going to be something that's going to be really cool. And of course, I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to say, what do you guys think? Do you think that this was because of the way Roman Reigns did things? Hey, I'm sorry. I'll say this 100,000 times. I am never going to be a fan of Roman Reigns. I'm just not. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I think that WWE tried to shove him down our throats too much. And now we've got this heel turn, which should have happened a long time ago, number one, instead of them trying to shove this baby face down our throats. And you know what? Something just hit me. As much as we talk about WWE shoving things down our throats, so to speak, I think I just caught a concept. Cody Rhodes. I'm going to come back to Cody Rhodes for a minute. And the reason that I'm going to come back to Cody Rhodes is that concept just hit me. The worst thing that they have ever been able to do, WWE, is force superstars on us in roles that we don't like. So we end up absolutely hating that superstar for what they're doing. Roman Reigns is the perfect example. WWE tried to push him way too fast, way too hard. Then they made this conversion to this this head of the table, tribal chief type thing. And now you end up with this untouchable person who can't do anything because, God forbid, they don't have anybody to follow up with. So now they have to bring Brock Lesnar back in. And because he couldn't wrestle a match because of COVID or whatever the reason that Roman Reigns had again for not being at a pay-per-view, we end up with this. So, two concepts here. The first concept, of course, comes back to Cody Rhodes. Do you think he is kind of making a mockery of WWE in the current persona of I'm not going to turn heel? I refuse to turn heel. When we're talking about this is kind of what he was talking about the other day on AEW, was the fact that he wasn't going to turn heel, no matter whether you liked it or not. He was not doing it because you guys cheered him when he was at his lowest point, and that you will always be that way, and all this other stuff. But it kind of makes me wonder if this current persona that we're seeing from Cody Rhodes is exactly that. If it's nothing but a work. Is that what we're seeing here from Cody Rhodes? Are we making fun of of WWE when we're doing this. I mean, that's the thing that's the weird concept that I have here. Is he actually almost parroting, so to speak, WWE and their push of Roman Reigns? I'm not going to turn heel no matter whether you like it. You can boo me all you want. But I'm secretly a heel over here acting this way. So, the more that I think about this, the more that I think that this is a grand concept. And when you start talking about Cody Rhodes, you have to look at it from the aspect that this man's been in the business forever. From his original days in WWE to the Stardust character that they gave him, to him leaving WWE and going out on the independent circle and being in ROH and all the things that he did with ROH, and then him building up this kind of stable with the Young Bucks and everything else, and actually creating AEW, being one of the original creators. Because if you go back and you look at it, the original pay-per-view that they put together was called All In. And All In kind of was the original point of breaking down that door, because go back and watch the All In pay-per-view. Rey Mysterio was in it. You had all of these people from all these different wrestling companies coming together and just having a grand old time. And I think that's where we look at this aspect, is this man's been around for a long time. He created his characters. He built them up. He even created the ROH World Heavyweight ring that he used to carry around. You need to go, for Cody Rhodes, you need to go back and watch some of the things that he did in ROH wrestling. You need to go back and watch some of the things that he did in WWE, even though he was stifled really badly, and watch the evolution from ROH, from Ring of Honor, into this faction, this concept. They were part of the Bullet Club. From the Bullet Club into the Elite. From the Elite into this brand new faction, and doing All In and looking at everybody that they brought in for the All In pay-per-view a few years ago. And the fact that it wasn't sponsored by anybody. That's one of the great things about it. This was the kickoff for AEW, kind of. It really was. It was the start of AEW, I think. And when you go back and you rewatch that, it's amazing how these things happened. So, yeah, this is just my personal thoughts. So what do you think? What do you guys think? Do you think that this is a concept of them putting up the best of both worlds, so to speak? I think it really makes a big difference. I really do. I'm running into a delay here, I think. I'm gonna stop sharing that and see what happens. Not sure what's going on. If you guys can still hear me, please go ahead and say something in the chat. I'm not seeing things on my side, and I'm not sure what's going on. Try to bring myself back in and see what happens. I think I've lost a connection to my camera, I think is what's happened. Of course I did. It is something new that we're doing. I'm hoping that we can put a bump. I'm trying to get the cameras back up and running. I'm not sure exactly what's happening. I may have just ran into a major issue. So guys, we're going to go ahead and end this live stream. I don't know if this is what's going on, but as we double check our back ends and find out what goes on, keep in mind, we do appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out with us. We will see you guys very, very soon. We love you guys. Have a great day, and do me a favor, be kind to each other.